Hey, what's going on, Myles?
Hey, Brian.
What's happening?
Not much. Just getting used to this time difference. Knowing that we're an hour closer, so it's 10 past 10 almost in the evening here. So that's nice. But then after Sunday, we go back to 11 p.m. again. So just as I started getting used to it, the times are gonna change once more.
Sure was nice while it lasted, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean the clock gods or whatever they are that does this time thing. They must have a good time screwing with us all.
Further proof that there are no clock gods.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, is it just me, or is there something warm and fuzzy about seeing these Dreamcast colors on the thumbnail? Like, did you play Dreamcast growing up? Like, does this bring back some nice memories?
Only when I visited my friends. My only memory of Dreamcast was playing Crazy Taxi, being blown away by the graphics, and then there being like a little Tamagotchi thing in the controller.
Yep. The VMU, right? Virtual memory, something or another.
That was it. That was it. Yeah. I never owned one. I jumped into the PlayStation a bit later down the line.
Crazy Taxi was so good. Like, that was like one of the best launch titles. It was like, wow, look at this, is like arcade perfect. There's oh man, and yeah, Offspring, everything. But yeah, it's good stuff, dude. We were like 8 minutes late getting the show started, so we probably shouldn't dick around anymore. Let's get this thing going.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Wow, €100 tip.
Well, Myles, I was pretty sure we had sorted out the issue, but here we are, big gray boxes. How's everyone doing?
That's right. Yeah, I don't have to see us.
Nope. This is exactly what we were trying to figure out before the show, and I don't know what. Oh, and there we are. We're just gonna keep popping in and out of existence. So, fuck me, dude. I have no idea why this is happening, and I kind of don't care anymore. Oh, and there we go again. Let's just pretend like nothing is wrong. If you're watching this, then I mean, my apologies, but we're just gonna have to move along.
Well, today, Brian, we thought those that watching can have the Spotify experience.
This is the Spotify experience. This is crazy. Oh, you know what? Oh, look at this. I can make us appear by rolling over the Discord, like a little tab at the bottom of my screen. Just by rolling over it and having a preview, it makes us appear. This is the strangest glitch I've ever dealt with, Myles. But it obviously means that it's a huge Discord issue. So F you Discord and F you OBS, just because OBS is usually the problem. What's up, everybody? This is PSVR GamesCast Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live, usually at 6 p.m. Eastern for your viewing pleasure. And if that's too much for you, we totally understand. Then do what you got to do. But you can also go check us out orally. You can enjoy us orally. It's the fucking worst joke ever. Over on Spotify or podcast services of your choice. Thank you guys very much for making us one of the top 100 video game podcasts in the world. It's fucking craziness. Also craziness. Listen, Josh, we're going to get to your tip in just a second here. Sorry, I forgot to. I moved my cursor and we went gray again. This is going to be a difficult show to navigate.
So you're producing with a cursor on Discord at the moment.
Yeah, Is
that what's happening?
Will computers allow for two mice to operate at once? I need one mouse cursor to be rolled over the tab, and another one to actually operate the show. So every time I have to do something, this is going to happen. This is just going to happen constantly. So here we go. We're back. Fucking. Got to give a shout out right off the bat, though. Owandocat, killing it with the tips out there, man. Making sure that there's pizza on all of our tables. Making sure that the lights stay on over here. We really fucking appreciate you, dude. He with €100. He writes whoop whoop without parole, and then follows that up with another €100. Owandocat, Kiernandocat says whoop whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Great boxes. Yeah.
Not sure about that, but we'll take it. We'll take it.
Owando, thank you very much, man. Means the world keeping the lights on. Also, if you have a solution for microphones that don't want to stay in place. Dude, everything's just falling apart over here, man. There's apparently not enough wire coat hangers keeping this place together. I have duct tape, but just nothing to use with the Myles. What's going on your channel over there, dude? Like, it's been a while since I checked in with you. We didn't do a show last week because of reasons, and and then we're back here. So it's been like 2 weeks since most people have seen you, unless they subscribe to your channel, which you should subscribe over on youtube.com/Myles. What is happening over there on your channel, my friend?
Well, before I get to the channel, Brian, the fact you were saying that things are falling apart, for me, it's like the perfect metaphor of how my week has been, because I've just come out of like just a generally terrible week, like lots going wrong, but it's good because it's Friday. It's wonderful to be here. It's always my favorite thing to do, the best way to end the week. It's great to be with all the Game Cats. Great to be with you, Brian. On my channel, well, this week, on Wednesday, I did my weekly show and we talked about ChatGPT, the AI, which I often talk about, but there's a lot of people out there that perhaps know a little bit about it but don't know too much. And so I did a beginner's guide and I gave about like 11 or 12 examples of different ways you can use it. And these were all like prompts that I wrote before the show and then I did them live. So I didn't actually know what the output was going to be. And even I was incredibly surprised by it. And one of the coolest things we did was we asked the chatbot to basically do a choose your own ending game where we said, this is the scenario and you're going to give us options A, B, C, or D. And basically the live chat, we just basically chose what we wanted to go with via a poll. And then it would just create the story. So you could actually basically create any story you wanted, you know, in some like PSVR2 game world, and it will do a choose your own ending just like on a whim, which is just mind-blowing. So yeah, it was a really good one. And at the weekend I was live streaming Switchback, which feels like quite a while now ago because of you were talking a lot about it last week. My impressions are I had fun on it, but I hate to say it, it's been the biggest disappointment for me on PSVR2 so far. It wasn't that scary. It had some great moments in the opening levels, but the pacing is just really bizarre, really, really slow. Someone in the chat mentioned it in a really interesting way, which was, or they were echoing what I said on the fly, which was, you're not waiting for tension to build. You're waiting because you're waiting for the next thing to happen. Like there are loads of moments you're on the tracks going, so what's meant to be happening now? But this weekend I'll be playing Demio, so I'm really excited for that on Sunday. And if you're about, Brian, you should totally join me. We should complete a dungeon together. Dude. But it's not as if you don't have enough on your plate already.
Yeah, I was actually just going through my schedule for the weekend, and the weekend is fucking like crazy busy. Like I have like personal things to do outside of Without Parole, which is not the usual. I just usually forego everything that's not Without Parole and just focus on this stuff. But I also have a ton of Without Parole stuff to do. Let's play it by ear though, man. Like I don't know, like if maybe put me on as a backup or something. See if you know, if I don't know if you have anybody scheduled, anyone that's gonna definitely be there. But I mean, if possible, if I could tell you Saturday night, if I could be there, because I would love to do it, man. I love that game.
Yeah, or if it's not, then we'll definitely team up another time. Actually played a game earlier today. My first like proper completed a dungeon, first one I'd done in weeks, and we went for one of the trophies, which is you've got the whole team has to play with assassins. So it was 4 assassins, and it's interesting because you have to learn the character obviously really well because you've all got the same moveset, and It's all about disappearing in the smoke and knowing when to reveal yourselves. And it was a lot of fun. But there's the trophy list for Demio, I have to say, is probably one of the best trophy lists of any PSVR2 game I've seen because it's deep, it's interesting. I find a lot of VR title trophy lists are always very top line and you can complete them very quickly. Or it is just about, completing the game. Like Demio is literally challenges like, can you complete the game solo? Can you complete it where you're all playing this character? Looks like it's going to be a hard one to complete, but like a rewarding, difficult trophy list.
Yeah. I think I used to be like a huge trophy Again, I bring this up all the time, but if anybody remembers the Beyond days, like like the PlayStation 3 podcast Beyond days, like the hosts over there and everybody who followed were like members of what they called the Trophy Whore Wars, and we were just buying like kids games, man, like just to get as many trophies as possible, get as many platinums as possible. And so it's like things like Cloudy with the Chance of Rape. Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs, and whatever Minions game was out or whatever, right? And we were just playing the crappiest crap to get whatever we could. And so I was like I was a huge fan of trophies for such a long time. And there's something recently, man, like there is certainly still like an enjoyment of getting a platinum trophy where you're like, oh man, that's cool. Like this shows that I did everything that I could, and I've really kind of closed the book on this game. Like now I can finally put it away and feel like I've done everything. Games like Demeo, and I think just PSVR2 in general, is like renewing my love of gaming so much, Myles, that I almost don't care about trophies like I used to. It's like trophies became a thing to make me like this additional thing to strive for when I played games, when it's like I wasn't that interested in the game. It was something that made me interested in the game. And I feel like games are so much more interesting and so much more better than they have been for a while that I kind of just don't care about the trophies as much anymore. So when I like put a game, back on the bookshelf or I delete it off my hard drive, I'm very seldom am I saying, oh, should I keep this on here so I can get the platinum? It's like, no, man, I'm good. I had my time with it. It was really enjoyable. Demeo will stay on my hard drive forever because it's fun. And if I never pop another trophy, it doesn't matter. I'm going to keep playing that shit.
I'm the same as you. Played those rubbish games and, always striving for plats, but then liking, I like doing difficult ones as well. I platinum Death Stranding. And then as we switched over to the PS5, I got quite a few PS5 trophies when it first came out, but it's just got to this point now where I think games are coming out so quickly, left, right, and center. Obviously, with the launch of PSVR2, we're inundated with so many titles, so many great titles. And especially when there are sort of transitions over. So like we're going to talk today about Saints and Sinners Chapter 1. I never platinumed it. And a part of me would want to wait and platinum the PSVR version before transferring games over. So you can normally like pop the second platinum. Obviously, I don't think that is the case with VR titles that are coming across. But a part of me is like, you know what? I've already moved on. Let's maybe go for the platinum for Saints and Sinners Chapter 1 on PSVR 2, but the reality is I'm probably not going to have time. Yeah.
I did platinum Saints and Sinners on PSVR 1. Just because we had a lot of free time when it came to PSVR 1. There was a lot of droughts between games. And at a certain point, after having beaten Saints and Sinners Chapter 1, enough time had gone by. I was like, well, let's get back to this thing with a reason. And so I ended up streaming it. So like I said, we had a lot of free time, and that's why I ended up platinuming that on stream, I believe, with the help of like MRI Gamer and a lot of people in the chat helping me out, of course. And it was exhausting because some of that shit is random. Like you're just waiting for like random recipes to drop or something. And it was like, God, I think we had developers watching who were like, we've never seen it take this long for like that random drop to happen. And I was like, well, that's how things happen on Without Parole. So welcome to my stream. But since you brought up Saints and Sinners, you know what? I do want to talk about Saints and Sinners Chapter 1 on PSVR 2. This is something that I hadn't gotten around to checking out because I was so invested in Retribution and making sure that we had that coverage taken care of. But before we talk about the PSVR 2 version of Saints and Sinners Chapter 1, I do want to make sure that we give credit where credit's due and make sure we give a few shout outs here for some of the other tips that have rolled in since the beginning of the show. Josh Cat started off with the $5 tip, says, have a great show, Brian and Myles. Have a great weekend, cats. Don't forget to take care of each other. Love you all. Hashtag GameCat Army. Thank you very much, Josh. I hope everyone out there does have a great weekend. Hopefully you finding time. I know things have been, I feel like just the whole world, Myles, has been stressed out lately. And like, I've been waking up tired for no reason whatsoever. I know that you've had a stressful week. It's just like, just try to remember that. I think when you talk to other people, like when you talk to somebody and they seem like they're really stressed out or like they have a short fuse or a short temper, remember it feels like the whole world right now is just sort of stressed out. So I don't know if that's accurate or not, but just try to keep that in mind when you're out there in the world.
That's such a good point, Brian. Yeah, I mean, like, always just be kind. One of my favorite things I heard, actually the boss of the company I work for, he always talks about this mantra of always assume good intentions when dealing with people.
Yeah.
And he speaks a lot because the company we work for, we all work remotely. And so often we're talking via Slack, chat and text where there isn't tone of voice and things like that. And so when you're making requests from people or you're correcting things, it can often seem quite harsh and cutting. And so that mantra of, always assume good intentions is great. And I think that applies to all parts in life. Even if someone does say something a bit off to you, they might just be having a bad day. And it doesn't mean that they don't have bad intentions, but at least make the starting point that you're going to give them a chance. And but I love that tip.
I agree. Emily Baxter.
As in the tip that, and I did mean the tip that got sent in with that Kai message. But yeah.
Emily Baxter, hashtag the cartoony witch game kitten with a $2 tip, says gray boxes are like cartoony games. Major suckage. Dude, I think I got it. I think I got it all worked out. Like, as long as I don't move too far in any direction. It's like playing Rush of Blood on PS5. Like, just don't move too much and shit probably won't break down. So let's hope that works out. Man, Bear, Pig, Game Cat does exist with the $2 tip. Says all these scary game releases feels like Halloween. Okay, help me out. Saints and Sinners Chapter 1 and 2, obviously. Switchback. Sea Smash? Scary?
Yeah, pretty scary actually. That roller coaster bit. Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I would celebrate Halloween all year round. So I mean, you give me scary games. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, and then maybe September.
Pavlov has a couple of spooky modes. The hide, actually, it is just the hide. Infection can be if you play on the dark maps where they've completely reskinned them and there's like dead bodies everywhere and eerie music. Yeah. But for those that don't know, on Pavlov, that one person plays as this monster. And what's really great is when the monster jumps across like a corridor, it actually does the jump scare music. So you'll see it jump and it will go dun, and it's just so good. You feel like you're in a horror movie.
Nice. Have you played the co-op zombies mode on that?
Yeah.
And your thoughts on that are?
It's I think it's a lot more could be done, and but also when you get about an hour in, it gets really good. To the point that I wish you could just start an hour in. I might have a clip of that later to show. But yeah, the co-op zombie mode I think is cool. I like the fact that you're shooting them and they're not going down. Yeah, and you have to sort of Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead, just like put the pistol right up to the head and pull the trigger, like you do actually in Saints and Sinners and stuff, so you don't miss the. And actually going back to Saints and Sinners, playing Chapter 1 again, I just forgot the pain of when you're running out of stamina and you can't hold your pistol up to shoot him.
Oh my God.
It's a horrible, horrible moment.
It really is. Like, I mean, like, you're in the middle of the zombie apocalypse. Like, this is, how tired do you have to be to not be able to raise your arm to shoot something that's about to kill you? Man, me and that stamina meter, I would call it a love-hate relationship, but it's just a fucking hate-hate relationship. It was to the point, I don't think I talked about this at all, but I hate that stamina meter so much, and I hate the way that you have to balance the health and stamina meters, like on how they work against each other, depending on what food you consume. I hate it so much that I played through all of Retribution with that shit off. Like, I didn't see it on the HUD the whole time. If I heard my character coughing, I was like, just take some pills, wrap a bandage up. And I was just like, and I just sort of ignored that the entire time because it bothered me so much in the first game that I was like, well, here's the shit that bothers me in the first game. The story, stupid characters, and the health and stamina meter. And as it turns out, you can ignore all that nonsense and just enjoy the game.
Yeah, for me, I think going back to Chapter 1 on PSVR2 and just remembering this stamina bar, I think the reason it annoys me is because it doesn't relate to real life. And what I mean by that is you don't have to run that far. You're like running past one or two houses and you're already exhausted. And then I was sort of saying to myself, okay, this is a zombie apocalypse. You're probably low on food. You're going to be a lot weaker. But I was like, you'd be able to run further than that. Where there are other games that have stamina meters, but you get a real sense of, yeah, I have actually run quite far. Right. Whereas in Saints and Sinners Chapter 1, they're quite small maps. So, it's a bit of a difficult one to really quantify.
Yeah. Looper the Underground Game Cat with the €5 says, if we're listing scary PSVR 2 games, I think Resident Evil 8 deserves a mention. I think that's beyond the understatement of the century. That like Resident Evil Village is terrifying. And I haven't even gotten, apparently, Myles, to the scary parts. But I'm going to do my best to stream that. I was considering, I've only streamed the first 3 I've only streamed it 3 times, and each time was like 2-ish hours. So I need to get back to that. I was thinking about doing another one tomorrow at some point. So don't hold me to it, but we'll try to do it. Try to make it happen.
And RE4 is out now, so let's start the countdown for the VR patch.
The countdown to the imaginary day in time that we have no idea.
Yeah.
All right, 2 more tips, and then we're going to move on to Saints and Sinners. We got Red Rover, Sinjo Grover, right over the effing GameCast with the $5 tip, says, the world of Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 is stressing me out. The night missions, holy crap, getting ready to put on the headset. I find myself not wanting to, and then I do. It is super stressful. Really stressful. That is, I think, a very understated addition to the game is being able to go out twice each day, and once at night, and like kind of forcing you to being like, well, there's extra stuff and there's better reasons to go out, but then there's also just missions that you will miss entirely if you don't go out, and they sort of force you to do some of these side missions early on. And
I haven't actually played the nighttime yet Saints and Sinners Chapter 2. So how does it work? Is there a bell that chimes, so at the end of the day that you have to leave, and then again at night? Is that how it works?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I'm trying to remember, because the nighttime missions, man, were just like, I was so wrapped up in what I was doing, and I feel like I was wondering the exact same thing. I was like, is there a certain point where I just have to get out of here? And I feel like I remember the bells ringing again. I don't remember what the deal was, but those nighttime missions are definitely a lot more stressful. And, I'm walking around, I'm like crouching behind cars, looking around, looking for like the longest path to my destination to see as many walkers, as few walkers as possible. I'm walking around without my flashlight on. I was like, just fumbling through the dark, trying to make it to my destination. I'm a mess in the dark.
Do you play with the voice proximity mode on?
No, right? Like, because some shit's gonna happen. I have an intercom in my apartment where like they just talk randomly, and like or a tornado will come up and meow at me or something. Like something's gonna happen at the worst possible time, because I know my luck, and that's just how my luck is. So I'm not gonna do that. Right? Yeah. It is fun though. Do you turn it on?
No, I haven't. And I've thought about it, but same as you, like outside noises and stuff, that'll probably pick it up. I know a lot of people did that with the Alien Isolation mod. They were playing it with proximity, so when they're in the locker, they're like, "No thanks, no thanks."
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I messed around with that a little bit on PSVR1. It was fun.
There's something about horror games knowing as long as I don't move the controllers or my hands, it won't know I'm here because I'm in the safe space. There's something extra terrifying, the idea of, can it hear me breathing? Like, am I far enough from the microphone? That extra, because that's what makes those horror games or moments scary. It's the, does it know I'm there yet? Which the sound effects in Saints and Sinners when zombies spot you, I wish you could. I don't know if you can in the second one, but Chapter 2. But I wish you could turn it off, because you might be looking the wrong way, and then you hear the dun, and you're like, "Oh, okay, a zombie's just spotted me. Like, that's right behind me." I like the idea that they could just crawl up to you slowly.
Oh, I don't like that at all. Maybe if you want to make it more difficult or whatever, I understand that. But because very frequently I will have no idea that the zombie's seen me until I hear that sound effect. I will be facing the wrong way. I'll be coming around the corner and boom, I'm like, all right, cool. And because it does the same thing for human enemies, right? With a different sound effect. And it's those. Oh, that was weird. Sorry. It's one of those. It's one of those things that like sort of like you just. You don't even notice after a while that it's like a sound effect. You more notice that like it's just the game indicating something to you, but not feeling like. Not breaking the immersion somehow.
That's true.
So it's almost like a Pavlovian response, I think, to be like, oh shit, that sound means that I'm in trouble, right?
It's like a spider sense. Yeah, spider sense.
So I really like it. However, I can see that if you want to make it harder or something, or don't want to break the immersion, I could see wanting to turn it off. I don't know if you can. I've never wanted to, so maybe. And then one more tip, and that is from Dead Ringer, the Game Cat. Says with the $2 tip, says not a Wando level. But let's go. Hi, Brian. Hi, Myles. Thank you, guys. Very, very generous, all of you. We appreciate you being here. And don't worry, it's not a competition. We love you all equally, although we love Owando slightly more tonight. So, dude, yeah, we've been playing Saints and Sinners Chapter 1, which is, again, is really nice. Finally getting around to that now that Retribution's sort of out of the way, and going back and playing a game I'm actually familiar with, and kind of knowing the story beats and knowing the missions, and kind of getting to experience it the way that I'm guessing PC VR gamers did. What's been your impression so far with this?
It's the best example of a... I'm pretty sure this is how it looked on PSVR. It clearly didn't, but do you know what I mean? You're playing it and you're going, this is how I felt it was when on PSVR, because it looks great. It feels very familiar, but it just runs smooth. As much as I've seen, I know some people say they've had some issues with glitches and that. Yeah. I'm enjoying it. It's been long enough since I played it. That's why actually I've not been playing much of Chapter 2, because I thought, actually, I want to complete Chapter 1 first. And I think the main reason why was, and I was speaking to Brian about this when I first dived into Chapter 2, I got very overwhelmed with all the upgrade benches because there were so many more than in Chapter 1. Naturally, it's a progression. And so I thought, yeah, that's an even bigger reason for me to jump into Chapter 1, learn the upgrade benches again, the different mechanics, and then I can expand them and build on it with Chapter 2. And yeah, look, I'm very early on. I've only done like a couple of locations, skipping through a lot of the radio scenes quite happily. And yeah, learning the mechanics. And it's just, I know this isn't really going to say a lot about the PSVR2 bit specifically, but just, scavenging and then being like, oh, actually, which bits do I need? What's going to be useful? And I think with the sense controllers, just having that better tracking, reloading weapons, especially if it's a revolver, looking through cupboards and drawers, it just makes it kind of makes the messy nature of having stamina and fighting off zombies. I wouldn't say it makes it more forgiving, but it means that when you die, you've died because you've effed up, not because I tried to grab my gun about 5 times and just the move controllers weren't having it,
Yeah. At this point, by the time Saints and Sinners Chapter 1 had come out on PSVR 1, a lot of us, people like me and AJ who played like nonstop, where I feel like we were about as proficient with the move controllers as you could possibly be. I doubt that there are many people out there who were like, who were like more comfortable with them than we were. But at the same time, that meant that there were a lot of people out there who were not as proficient, and meant that they, only picked them up when they really had to, right? And so a game like this, where there's kind of everything, right? You're running, you're climbing, you're sneaking, you're grabbing stuff, you're throwing stuff in your backpack, you're grabbing things from your inventory. When I just showed a moment at the beginning of this game when I'm trying to talk to Henry, who's hanging upside down by a rope, and like there's a walker coming at me that I had to accidentally sort of dragged in with me from the previous area, and so I'm like talking to Henry and also holding my hand up against this zombie's head, holding it at bay, and looking back and forth, and like also like going through the conversation with Henry while I've got a zombie in my hand, like pushing her back over and over, and even as proficient as I was with the move controllers, I can absolutely see that being a huge issue, because I'm trying to do something over here and also something over here simultaneously, and you just know that the PlayStation camera was going to be like, what the fuck are you doing, Brian? Like, there's too much going on. You're not totally in view. Maybe one of your controllers is occluded. It definitely feels good to be able to play these games and know that your hands are doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. I wish I had more time, because I would absolutely go through and play the entire game all over again. This is footage from earlier today. This is the first time I've had a chance to play it, and man, like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, this is how I remember it looking on PSVR 1, but there's no chance in hell. Like, this is, it just all looks so good, although not as good as Retribution. Retribution has, like, I feel like Retribution just has a little bit more polish, just like all sorts of particle effects and mist and fog and all sorts of things, like just a little bit more working together to create like an even more spectacular looking game.
Yeah. And on the thing regarding guns, I think that's something I'm definitely what.
I mean, one of the many things that sense controllers do better. Like, I mean, have you used a revolver in this game? I can't believe we used to reload the revolver with Move controllers.
It's. I mean, I mentioned how the first gun game I played Zombieland a little bit, but then it was Pavlov, and because Pavlov, you're having to learn, as you were talking on Wednesday's show, about you having to learn how to reload all these different weapons under pressure. And you were asking me earlier about what I made of the zombie mode. The zombie mode's actually a really good way of getting good practice, because under pressure you have to learn to reload so you can and cock it so you can start shooting again. And I found that then when I went into Resident Evil Village, and I've been going back to Saints and Sinners, that, you know, shotguns, for example, when I played Saints and Sinners on PSVR, I never used a shotgun, because I was like, reloading this shotgun is an absolute nightmare. Like, I'd rather break a glass bottle around me and just stab it in the head instead. Like, shotguns were a liability. And maybe if I stuck with it, it might have become better. But now with PSVR2, I'm ready to go straight into it. The only challenge I have with guns on PSVR2 is different games have different grip functionality on how you reload and things like that. And so you have to just get the muscle memory going of learning it, because there's a few times where I'll be pressing something and like, oh no, that's for Pavlov, or oh no, that's for Zombieland. But yeah, I at least get to experience this game, because it's about a good game. And again, I think you spoke about this on Wednesday. A good game makes it so that when you die, you think, I effed up, not there was a glitch that stopped me. Oh, you know, I shouldn't have died then. That was a glitch of the game. I was cheated. And I feel that with Saints and Sinners on PSVR 2 now, with the controls being as good as they are with tracking and everything, and the feeling in the sense controllers, it just makes that immersion in that very brutal world even more thrilling when you do learn to master it.
Is this going to be the game that you're playing for the time being? I you might have said this earlier. Sorry if I missed it. Are you going to be playing this on your channel, or what are you going to be up to? I mean, other than, I know you said Demio, but like, are you going to be getting around to this one at any point?
Dude, I definitely want to. I think Chapter 2 might be the one that I do on a live stream. And it's interesting because, as I've mentioned, my aim is that every weekend I play a different game. And a part of me is like, there's all these games that were out at launch that I've still not played yet. Yeah. You know, but there's 50 weeks in the year, or 52. But actually, no, you know, we're not going to be wanting to play all of them on live streams. We're actually, we're good. We're good for week on week. So it's like, even if it's not next week or it's not for 6 weeks, I'm just blessed that we have so many great titles to play at the moment. But yeah, it's definitely one that I want to play on a live stream.
Nice. Yeah, dude. I wish I could even bust out a review a week. But I feel like, and I think I've come pretty close to that so far. I think that's kind of what I've done. It's been a month since PSVR2's come out. I think I got 5 reviews out, maybe 4 plus I don't remember. But so yeah, so I mean, we'd be fine, or I'd be fine if no more games came out for the rest of the year. But right. Everybody else out there wouldn't be so fine. Like Man Bear Pig Game Cat with the $2 tip says, could the best version of Half-Life Alyx be on PSVR 2? I mean, clearly Alyx was designed for high-end PC VR 3 years ago, and you know, I mean, seeing how much better the PlayStation VR 2 version of like Saints and Sinners 2 is, and just seeing you don't even have to play the PC VR version to find out that the PC gamers are just having problems over there, right? Like it's either not optimized or what it is, but that's just the nature of PC gaming, right? At least we know that we're all having the same experience when we start up Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 on PlayStation 5, PlayStation VR 2, and it looks fucking incredible. And so optimizing for one platform, for one set of specs, you can absolutely push so much more out of that. And so I think we could absolutely get the best looking, and with the sense controller haptics and adaptive triggers, the best playing version of Half-Life Alyx out there.
Yeah, and without wanting to go too off topic, but this is definitely relevant because of GDC that's just taken place. And I believe it was there that Epic Games and Unreal did a few showcases of their Unreal Engine 5 or 5.2 with Fortnite. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, just look it up online. We're with all the talk about artificial intelligence and deep fakes and chatbot GPT, and now all this Unreal Engine stuff, we are on the verge of entering a whole new world when it comes to gaming, because especially what the Unreal Engine does, and they've shown again and again over the last couple of years, especially with Fortnite, which is played on all platforms, mobile and everything, is Unreal have made an engine that it has such great efficiencies that you're able to use Lumen and have I think they're called is it nanites. The way that the whole landscape is structured, it basically does the heavy lifting, so it's not as much of a strain on computers, and you're able basically to squeeze more out of your hardware because of the software that they make. That's me talking in very layman's terms, and I'm probably there's a lot of devs out there going, "Oh my god, he butchered that! He doesn't even know what he's talking
welcome
about."
To my whole life.
Yeah. But honestly, it just makes me really, really excited. I mean, I showed you, Brian, a couple of weeks ago. I think it was after GAMESCAST. There was a tweet of this new horror game of someone in their home, and someone breaks into the house. You stop watching it because you didn't want to spoil it. But It looked like a 2D game, but the camera moves in a very, VR way. And I'm looking at games like that going, okay, RE8, I've been able to manage. If it comes to games like this, I'm never going to be able to do it. Like, these games are starting to look so real. And, we live in very exciting times.
We do indeed. Things are only going to get better, man. Things are only going to get better. I know a lot of people have had quibbles about the PSVR2 launch. They've got quibbles about certain games looking the way they do, running a certain way. Whether it be the LOD, whether it be the draw distance or the LOD or the there's an infinite number of things to complain about at launch. But like, man, I've been through so many launches in my life, and like, this is an amazing one. This is absolutely amazing, and I think it's easy to point out the things that aren't perfect because practically everything else is. And the launch titles have never been an example of how powerful any hardware is. It shows you how much more powerful something is than the generation before, but it certainly doesn't show you the extent of what something's capable of. You never see that until later in the generation. And so talking to many developers, they're all telling me the same story. They're like, Brian, just like in 2025, you're going to be seeing games that like blow away what you've seen here at launch, right? Because they're going to be able to, tackle things like even like Mara, which is like, can be handled somewhat to a certain degree from a software side of things. And so developers are going to be able to like kind of like reduce that. But people are seeming to have, that's one of their biggest complaints. But another one of their complaints is like like in Horizon or Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. Once you get out to a certain distance, everything just gets kind of like on the blurry side, right? Everything looks great within 3 meters, for you UK folks. But beyond that, it's kind of blurry. And like then we see something like Saints and Sinners Chapter 2, Chapter 1, and it's just like fucking crystal clear all the way down Bourbon Street as far as you can go. And you're like, wow, like people are already figuring out and my guess is that we can credit White Moon Dreams with that because they are fucking super duper talented over there. And the fact that they were able to be recruited as a port studio for this already amazing game. I mean, it's like putting butter on a Pop-Tart, Myles. It's so freaking good.
It's super exciting. And the fact that, objects on PSVR2 can look so good up close. Yeah. It means that eventually, if they nail it, you're going to have that clarity with everything, even stuff in the distance. Do you know what I mean? So it means if it's a concern of like, is it just the resolution's not good enough? No, well, clearly it is. I've been playing a bit of Kayak VR again this week, and I just keep thinking about what a benchmark it is for fidelity. Obviously, it's a much simpler game, but it shows you that the potential is there. Like the technology is there to have, fidelity that high. It's just a question of, can you get the heavy lifting on the software side when you're having lots of, a lot more things going on, whether it's particle physics or, explosions or AI, enemies and stuff like that. Yeah.
Let's get. I think there's 2 more tips here, and then we can move on. We got Looper, the Underground Game Cat, with the €2 says, "I love touch grip in Resident Evil 8, Saints and Sinners, and Swordsman.
Yeah, the grip aspect I find interesting because I'm never sure what I like. I think it was just getting used to it to begin with, because it's like, oh, you don't have to hold it down. You can just literally grip it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just took a bit of getting used to. It's new tech, isn't it? It's like you've not. I was like, do I like this? Well, it's just I'm not used to it. And eventually, it does make complete sense. The reason it was uncomfortable at first was, oh no, I was still holding it down. Like I'm so used to having to hold on to the move controllers for dear life. Because if you drop them, grabbing them, am I holding them the right way round? Again, the fact that these sense controllers, you can kind of just put your hands up like that and they stay on. Yeah, really, really great.
Yeah, I love all the options, and I just hope games continue giving us the options, because there is something about going. Like I went from Pavlov. I was playing a lot of Pavlov over the last 2 days to playing Saints and Sinners today, and remembering, oh shit, I'm not using the trigger for all of these reloading mechanics. I'm using the grip button, and so just kind of to have an option to sort of allow me to play in the same way from game to game would be really nice. But you know what? You got to do what you got to do. Somebody in the chat asked if they were the only piece of shit that went around just killing all the NPCs in Saints and Sinners games, and I'm making.
Why would you do that?
Well,
why would you go around killing things?
Because
I'd never do that.
God damn, they're annoying. So, so this is my playthrough of Saints and Sinners that I started today, and it's not going to take too long to figure out what a piece of shit I am, 2 Miles. So I'm just going to leave this.
You got to do what
screen.
you got to do to survive.
Yeah,
got to do what you to survive.
It's true. And while that's running, we got Mr_HKP with 5 quid. It says, just got my VR optician lenses today, and they are utterly brilliant, super clear, and I no longer see the rims of my glasses. Highly recommended. Okay, so when I was talking to Dustin from
special glasses to wear while we're playing VR.
No, lenses that you put onto like they clip onto the lenses of your headset. Wow. And so you can take off your glasses and you don't need to wear contacts or whatever while you're playing. And so
that's amazing. Yeah,
Dustin and I were talking from Last Stand Media, and we were saying that I think this is actually cluing in a lot of people that they need glasses. Like when people are like, "Oh, PSVR2 is blurry," it's because it's using a distance for your eyes to see that they're not used to seeing. And so like if you're just used to kind of squinting and shit, and like you're not like, dude, a lot of people, if you go on Reddit, you will see people being like, holy shit, I didn't know I needed glasses. I got glasses and the fucking headset's perfect. I didn't realize the problem was me. It's not the PSVR2, which is fucking kind of hilarious. And I got to be honest, man, I'm getting older, and I've been spending a lot of time in VR over the last 6 years. I don't think it's been great for my vision. And I don't think my eyesight's not nearly as good as it was 6 years ago when I got the PSVR 1. I'm going to look into what my prescription might be. And I think I'm going to check out a set of these things because I can tell, man, if I'm in the headset and I squint, I'm like, this looks better when I squint. Like it's like when I have to read road signs at night. I'm like,
right.
Does it say Stope? Stop. Fuck. Too late. Okay.
Yeah, squinting. It's like when I try and close one eye. I just squint. Dude, I laughed in the middle of that, seeing on the live show of you shooting that woman in the head. The way you get behind the car first.
I didn't want to.
The way you get behind the car, and then you're looking at your gun, going, "Am I going to do this? Am I? Yeah.
I knew I was going to do it.
After you got the note,
I didn't want her to know I was going to do it because I felt bad for her. Like, right? Like, I feel like death, instantaneous death, without any knowledge. Like, why stress somebody out before you end their life?
Agreed.
Right?
You did the right thing.
It's really only the fair way to do this. All right, and I think that gets us caught up on tips.
It's a shame you didn't have a kayak paddle to revive her afterwards.
You're a horrible person, Myles. Horrible.
I'm not. I don't.
Penguin killer. That's what it's going to say on your grave. It's going to...
Myles Penguin Killer Dyer.
Myles Dyer, YouTuber.
Penguin murderer.
Yeah, it'll be there somewhere. There'll be a list, and we'll make sure that Penguin Murderer gets on there somewhere. All right, man. You know what? We got to ditch a couple of these stories just because we're going a little bit long here, but I don't think we should miss out on talking about a little bit about Galaxy Kart. Galaxy Kart appeared on the PlayStation Store today. If you've been following VR Monkey on Twitter, they've been saying they've been having a countdown every single day to it's 4 more days till Galaxy Kart, 3 more days till Galaxy Kart, 2 more days till Galaxy Kart, and then today it showed up, and I was like, wait, where's the 1 more day till Galaxy Kart? It sort of just showed up. Now, Myles, you didn't get a chance to play this, but I mean, are you a kart racer fan? Do you have any interest in Galaxy Kart?
I do have interest. I didn't actually play any of the karting games on PSVR, and GT7, man, GT7 has set the bar. That's all I'm gonna say. But I do get sad when even I actually get a banana from the kitchen and put it beside me, and I'm playing the karting, and I can't just throw it outside my cart to skid people up. So, I mean, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Like, what's the verdict?
Okay, so let's everybody get on the same page. It's a $20 game, so not exactly breaking the bank, especially in a world where $20 games barely exist anymore. At least these guys are charging a budget price for their budget game. My overall impression is that it's a little too budget for its own good right now. It feels like it's in early access. It's a little on the blurry side, man. Like, it definitely feels like, I mean, this kind of feels like Switchback again. It's like it's somehow not taking advantage of the resolution of the PSVR2, and so far I've only seen 1 track. This is an issue, right?
Sorry, 1 track.
Yeah, because there's 4 tracks in the game so far, which is also a problem, right? I can't remember the last time a kart racer launched with like 4 tracks or even anything close.
It's a figure of 8 that you've been playing. Is this your footage?
This is my footage, yeah. Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? I'm sure they've got more tracks in development that they're probably working on a whole lot more. They'll probably just drop them here and there. They'll keep adding to the game. So I was like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Like, let's enjoy what's here for the time being. So there's no wheel support yet. So the only way you can race is with the Sense controllers. You have to put them.
So you are doing this.
Yeah. And for anybody who wishes you could do that in Gran Turismo 7, I'm going to tell you right now, no, you don't. Because dude, I only played this for like, I don't know, an hour, and my arms were tired of like holding them out there. Like, this is so. The good thing is that you only really need to have one hand on the wheel, right?
So you're grabbing power-ups with
1 hand. Oh. You're accelerating with the trigger, and you're gripping the wheel with the grip. So you basically you have your whole hand, your fist is just like closed for the entire race, and steering, which in itself is exhausting, right? You can't let go of any of the buttons.
Like? Can you feel the road?
The haptics are good. I will say that you can kind of feel the of like just like whatever's happening underneath you, like just very subtle vibrations in the controller, which makes it feel like you're moving a little bit more. The haptics in the headset are pretty good. I don't know if you saw the big crash. Like, there's these big lasers that go across the road and they leave fire in their wake, and then you run into like a ball of fire, and like it shakes your headset like pretty vigorously, and so like crashing feels good, shockingly. And the same thing with the weapons. Like, you grab the weapons from like right next to you. You can kind of see them every time I kind of look to the right. Every character has their own unique weapon, which is kind of cool. And so,
are their carts differently? Their carts different? No.
So
like,
yeah. So you can actually select different characters and different carts. Like, so you don't select a character with a cart. You select a character, and there's obviously, like, if you pick the pirate, there's a pirate ship cart that you can match A with B, but you don't have to, which is pretty cool. And so the pirate has a hook. And with the hook, you can. So you're driving with your left hand, and with your right hand. This is what I love, man. This is what I wanted in VR. This is why I want Grand Theft Auto, is because I want to drive down the street with one hand on the wheel, and the other one like fucking shooting motherfuckers out the window, right?
Oh.
And you get to do that in this game. And so your right hand or your whatever, I don't know. I think you can choose left or right-handed. I'm pretty sure I saw that in the options. But Your Long Shadow says, any plans to have your vision checked? I just said that. Literally just said that. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's cool, man. So like the pirate, his default weapon, which they all have cooldowns, So but you always have it. You're just waiting for it to recharge. So you shoot you shoot a hook out of your hand, and it's a scorpion thing. So like you shoot a guy in front of you, and it's like kind of like get over here, and it's like you like rubber band yourself like wicked close to him, and it feels really good. Like the rope shooting out of your hand, like the whole thing just feels really good. And so there's all this promise here. And it just seems like it's underdeveloped. Like it feels like it's rushed because there's only 4 tracks. There's only I'm unlocking characters as I go, and like I said, I've only seen 1 track because what they do, and this is horrible, they make you play the track on easy, and then you have to get first place, and then they make you play on medium, and then you have to get first place, and then they make you play on hard. Then you have to get first place to unlock the challenge, which then you have to get first place to unlock, I think, the next map, the next track, and it's not going well. I got first place really easily on easy and medium, and I didn't spend a ton of time trying to get first place on the hard one. I've only raced it like twice, but I'm bored, man. I'm bored. I want to try other tracks.
And was this and this was against bots you were playing against?
Yeah, I haven't tried multiplayer out.
Yeah. Oh man, wouldn't it be great in multiplayer if there's proximity chat so you can hear people as they drive past? Like if you knock people out and then you just hear their voices going the distance, like you can't catch me. I see the pirate guy there. Okay, that's cool. And you can play as Chili Dog. Okay, nice. With ketchup glue.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty silly characters. Like I'm not a fan of like silly stuff, but it is cool. Like the next one I play as is a UFO, like an alien in a UFO.
Right. Okay.
In this track specifically, the only one I've played. Sorry, everyone's giving Your Long Shadows in the chat a hard time. We love you. Don't listen to anybody. This track is pretty good. Like it's got, obviously obstacles on the track itself. Apparently I keep hitting this particular one. And then and then it's got, the little speed boost plates that are in every single kart racer. There's jumps and power-ups and whatever else. And it's decent. It's decent. And so it works the same as Mario Kart. So not only do you have your character's unique weapon, but also you have a secondary weapon that you pick up on the track, and you get to use those. And it's kind of typical stuff. It's like guns and mines and boomerangs and nothing spectacular, but they all work. I think they all work too well, to be honest with you. I don't know how much of me hitting my opponents is talent and how much is just like, God, the auto aim on this is ridiculously over the top. So I don't know, man. I'm interested to see the other tracks, but for right now, I would actually tell people hold off. Wait for this thing to get wheel support. The developers have said they're adding that. Wait for this thing to get some more tracks, and hopefully they'll keep supporting this, and maybe after a while it'll be like a really good kart racer. It's got a good feel to it, Myles. It's got a good sense of speed. That
was going to be my question. Yep. Is the sense of speed good?
Yeah, when you boost. Like if you your maximum speed is pretty low, but then when you hit the boost pads or there's like nitrous that you can get as a power up, wow,
you got pretty high in that hot dog. You took a ramp. You went really high.
Yeah. Me and hot dogs, we get high all the time together.
Yeah. High on a hot dog.
Yeah. Jason Voorhees in the chat says, "Isn't this made by the developers that made Drunken Bar Fight?" Yeah, and that's the thing is like Drunken Bar Fight. I don't think is a terribly good game. I think it's actually frequently a bad game.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, I will speak for myself. But they're a great port studio. We wouldn't have gotten. I don't think we would have gotten Windlands 2 from on PSVR1 or Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife or Yuki. Like this was the studio that brought us all those games from the other developers from other platforms, and they did a great job. And so I think they're getting better at developing games. But I do think that there's some fears here that are justified. That maybe they're not quite there yet. But with a little bit more love, I really do think that this game could be fun. Because so far, it's almost fun.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does appeal to me. Well, when they had steering wheel support, I wonder, would it be possible to have it that you use the steering wheel and one sense controller? They wouldn't. I'm assuming not.
Well, so I mean, touring carts on PSVR1 had that, right? Like they had pretty much every control scheme known to man with touring carts. You could drive with a wheel and one move controller and do exactly what you're describing.
Wow,
so
okay.
Whether these guys are going to do that, no idea. But that's the only way to do it, man. Like I don't understand how you would use the weapons in this game. Like I wouldn't want to use head targeting or something like that, head tracking. Like one hand on the wheel, let my feet control the acceleration and brakes, and then let me have a sense control on the other hand, throwing shit. Like I feel like that would be perfect.
And there's one way they could have a one-up over GT7, because I was asking this week on Twitter, when we do multiplayer on GT7, you have to play like individual tracks, and I would love it if you could set up 5 tracks to do go-karting, and then after each race it tallies up points for what position you are. So you have basically a mini cup, but as far as I can see from what everyone was saying, it's not actually an option. If they could do that in this for multiplayer, like once you've unlocked all, was it 4 tracks, that'd be great. Individual races is great.
I'm just looking for the chat to make a joke about you having a mini cup.
And what?
Mini cup.
Mini cup.
Yeah. No one. We're gonna let that one go, I guess. All right. Good job, chat.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll keep you updated on Galaxy Kart. I'm gonna see if I can get in touch with the developers. They actually contacted me this morning, and when I responded, they never got back to me. So I'm gonna see what their plans are, if it's worth reviewing right now. But for the moment, that's kind of my review. We'll see. I mean, dude, I could be totally wrong, man. Maybe the next 3 tracks that I unlock are just fucking amazing, right?
They're gonna blow your mind.
Maybe, but I don't see that happening. Dude, the
Hot Dog World.
Don't understand the resolution problem that's going on with like this and Switchback is like, what the fuck, man? Like when you play something like Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 or you play literally anything else on the platform. I play Runner, and it's just like so crisp and clear, so sharp. I was like, what happened here? And so, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hey, Myles, we did get another new drop on the PlayStation Store yesterday for PSVR2, which something we've been sort of looking forward to, was the C-Smash VRS demo. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I had no idea what the fuck C-Smash was. I know Cosmic Smash on Dreamcast. I was a huge Dreamcast fan. I'd never heard of this game before. That's on me, I guess, because a lot of Dreamcast fans out there absolutely have fond memories of this. No idea. But here, let me bring up some footage here. I'm so happy, Myles, because you and I were not able to get a game going together. But separately, you and I got plenty of multiplayer games going. So,
yes.
Talk to me, man. I've talked enough about Galaxy Kart. It's your turn to take the reins.
Sure.
What is C-Smash, man? Like tell the people at home. What this is all about.
For me, look, it definitely has a feeling of SPARC. It is that similar art style. It's one-on-one if you're playing multiplayer, where if you do quick play, you're teaming up with someone random. And actually, you don't see who they are unless you press start and go to the options. So there's this kind of, who am I playing? You're just waving at each other. And it's like squash meets Pong. So in the multiplayer mode, you have a wall of tiles behind you, and so does your opponent. And you're hitting this ball backwards and forwards, and you're trying to knock out all the tiles. And once you've done that, it then goes on to another wall. And then by the end of, I guess, the time limit, although sometimes I saw a time limit and other times I didn't. And I felt like when you didn't, it was just whoever cleared the 3 walls first.
Okay.
There's a lot going on. Brian and I were definitely treating it like a puzzle game, trying to work out game mechanics. You can charge your racket up, which means it hones towards where you need to get to. But then it's a question of, does it recharge after a certain amount of time? So you just want to use it as quick as you can, or is it after doing certain hits? I had a good time with it. However, and this is just the demo, we'll get to like the issues we had with multiplayer in a moment. But I when I play, and there is going to be a lot of comparisons with SPARC. SPARC made you feel powerful when you hit those good shots, when you slung the orb and you got the speed. There was this real sense of power, and there was tension in the game mechanics that as it goes backwards and forwards, for those that don't know in SPARC, you're trying to hit your opponent. and when you do, you get a point. But if your opponent moves out the way and there's a target behind them, if your orb hits that target, it will then get you a charge point, which means it's even faster for you. So what it means is, as you're going backwards and forwards, if you're dodging constantly, but they keep hitting that target, there's this building, up of tension and speed and power. Who's going to get the point? Who's going to get the point? In this, it's very much like when you win the point, all right, you just reset. Whoever lost the point goes next. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But that feeling of power and slinging it, I had a lot of issues with tracking where I was clearly hitting it with the bat and it wasn't connecting. Like on SPARC, when you hit the orb or you sling it, especially with move controllers, it just felt so intuitive. Mm-hmm. And I played enough games to really give it a go because, it was the same with SPARC. You're like, maybe I just need to get used to it. With this, it got to a point where I had to stop swinging to hit it, and I just had to keep putting my bat in front of it. But there were a lot of times where I was putting my bat in the way and it was going through it. So whether that's stuff to be fixed or they need to change the size of the bat, or I don't know, but it's actually what we were talking about earlier. A good game is where when you lose a point or you lose generally, it's because you've messed up. Mm-hmm. There was so much on here. And, at first I was like, maybe I'm making excuses for myself, but me and a few other people we're playing with, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this, Brian. There was a lot of times where I was like, no, my racket was clearly in front of the ball when it was coming in super slow and it was just going through it. Huh. So, look, this is a demo. They're testing it, and I'm actually looking forward to playing the full version and seeing all the other game modes, which I think are alluded to in the practice that you do, because there's a lot of mechanics in the practice rounds that aren't in the multiplayer. But yeah, I do want SPARC to come to PSVR2. I know it's incredibly unlikely, but I am looking forward to playing this with people when the full version's out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to tackle there. I would say that comparing it to SPARC, I think immediately puts us at a disadvantage. SPARC just had a completely, I think, just a better concept overall. You were describing how things get more and more intense as it goes. As the match goes on longer, the ball gets bigger, it starts going faster, and it's harder to dodge and whatever. It becomes more deadly. There's two balls going at once. If you lose your ball and then now it's just the opponent, it's like it's just, I don't know. There were so many cool concepts. It was like brilliant in its simplicity, and then this one is like, I think, less brilliant in its simplicity. Like it seems to be doing almost as much stuff, but not as much stuff that I care about. And I mean, you can say what you want about the aesthetic, and the chat certainly has. They certainly have their opinions on whether they think this is a cool look or not. It's on the bland side for me, right? Like this looks like a VR game that people from 1999 would be like, dude, just wait until VR comes around, and this is the game that they would make in 1999, whereas like SPARC is the VR game you would have made in 2019. And so, but there was a lot of stuff that I liked about it. I actually thought that the single player stuff, there were 10 levels for single player training or just practice or whatever. I thought it was fun, man. It was, really simple stuff, very Arkanoid-like, very Breakout-like. In the haptics, felt good, I thought, in the Sense controllers. Like when you hit it, it felt like a ball hitting a racket. And I was like, that's a good sensation. It's good feedback. And overall, I was like, this is fine. What I'm curious about is what the other multiplayer modes will be, because we got to try one in this demo, and it was a lot like the practice modes, the single player practice modes, where you're just trying to knock out those blocks from, behind the person that you're playing against. But I think this game's going to live and die based on how good those other modes are, because if it's just this, I don't think that's enough. I don't see myself going back to this and be like, oh, just one more match of C-Smash before I go to bed. Dude, I used to get DMs and text messages at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, the month that SPARC came out. And people, like, I remember JD Max would like text me at like 3 o'clock in the morning. He'd be like, dude, you want to play a game of SPARC? And I was just falling asleep and been like, fuck sleep, man. I'm going to get up and play some SPARC. Like, that game was an addiction. That game was a great addiction. I didn't care that I was getting up and about to sweat for 20 minutes. It didn't matter. I was just like, let's get in one. Yeah. So I don't know.
And I know it's a disadvantage compared to SPARC, but SPARC nailed it in even the ways that they didn't have to nail it. For example, when you were waiting for a match, you could wait on the outside. SPARC was, I'm going to be very British here, was a knackering game. It was exhausting because there were some modes where I think some of them, there was no time limit. It was a point limit. So you just literally had to play until someone got exhausted, and then you would tag out. Someone watching as a massive person outside looking in could say, "Yeah, I'll tag out." Winner stays on, and that was really cool. Whereas with this, you have to go back to the main menu, and each time you have to go on this little roller coaster thing, which was kind of cool. But I feel the novelty is going to wear off. The same with the intro. When you start the game, you can't skip the intro. It's a cool thing. The first time, second time, it's cool, but you're like, I'm ready to just jump in. But it's all things that can be tightened and polished up. Like, if I was to just break it down to a simple question, am I looking forward to playing the full version of this game? It's an absolute yes, for me.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm curious more than anything else because the initial trailer that showed 3 seconds of what we're showing, minutes and minutes of here, didn't get me excited. I was like, okay, whatever. This is, maybe this will be good. And then playing the demo was like, oh, okay, well, this feels good. But that addiction's not there. And so, seeing what they do between now and launch and seeing what those other multiplayer modes will be like is gonna be make it or break it for me. It's fine. Like that's my problem is that it's fine. It's just not terribly exciting, and I do think that the people I was playing against were having some like serious lag issues because I constantly would see them just like being like shaking their hands and being like I don't know, and like one dude like rage quit in the middle of our match because he couldn't hit the ball. And I didn't have any lag issues, but I heard other people saying that they had lag issues, like on our Discord and stuff. And so
maybe that's what I was having. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's, but we also saw the developers have been very, very vocal about saying, there's problems. Like, and we had no idea so many people were going to want to play this thing. And so, we're going to improve everything. And yeah, anyway, $27, $26.99, is, who knows, man, this could be a surprise hit. We'll just have to kind of keep our eyes on it. Luckily, the demo's out there for everybody right now. It's free. It doesn't have a date, I don't think. Thankfully, right? Hopefully they just take whatever time it takes to get this thing up to par. But yeah.
Oh, 23rd of June.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 months. March, April, May, June. Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
3 months from now.
Good amount of time.
Yeah. So hopefully they take the time they need. Chrome Colossus with the $5 tip says, paddle handle doesn't match controller grip. Ball has ghosting on purpose that makes tracking it near impossible.
Yes, that was the other thing I was trying to put my finger on was, as I was playing it, I was trying to remember, again, SPARC, you were able to track where it was going and see. So like you'll see in the video that's playing now is when the ball's near the top and bottom, you see there's like some dots on the ground as it's about to hit. But it's pretty much like too little, too late. But the tracking, that's it on SPARC because the ball is just one flat shape, isn't it? Like color, and so is the trail. So you don't have depth perception. Whereas on SPARC, it was a sphere, and so you could kind of see the trajectory. So of course you can kind of see the dots and the way, but because it's flat color, you're not able to. In VR you have depth perception. So you need things that reflect that. So there's definitely other things they could do there. Maybe have the trail is kind of a color that gets brighter as it moves away from it, just so you can kind of get a sense of the direction, especially when it gets really fast. Because when you're smacking it, you literally have to react super quick.
The rest of Chrome Colossus tip says no haptic feedback on hits. Now that wasn't something I was experiencing. I actually felt like it was like a zoom, like an actual racket. If you were hitting like a racquetball with a racket, it felt exactly like that. I was a little surprised. That said, man, if I'm going to do a one-on-one game, I would absolutely love and just hit a ball back and forth with my friends. I would absolutely love it if the guys behind Racket Fury we get their shit together and bring us a PSVR2 version of literally the best tabletop tennis game that we've ever had in VR. That game deserves a PSVR2 version. Like, the haptics were great on the PSVR1 with the Move controllers.
I know.
The tracking was great. I mean, like,
that's it.
Yeah, let's just do that. All right, man. Well, like, listen, everybody has access to this thing. That's the greatest part about C Smash right now, is that everybody has access to the demo. So make sure you download the demo, check it out, and let us know in the comments after the show's over what you thought of C Smash, because it seems like everyone's really divided on this, right? That's what it looks like, at least.
Does it? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Some people love the art design. Some people hate it. Some people think it plays great. Some people don't. So I'm very, very curious. Chrome Colossus, I feel like you had a bug, because he says, I didn't notice any haptics. Maybe it was just light. It was intense in my controller. So, like, I feel like it's just a bug.
I don't know if I think I sensed it only when doing the charge up move. So yeah, it's one of those things of sometimes I don't think they are subtle in this way, but yeah.
That's, what's funny is that if maybe it was only in the charge up move, and I was like, wow, that haptic feedback is great, and then and then I just was like, okay, like, check that box in my head, the haptic feedback is great. I don't know.
Well, that's it.
That's
the thing with these. It's the thing with these immersive experiences, is you have to kind of go back in it with quite an intention of what you're looking for.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, man. Boy, all I can say is make sure you pay attention to PSVR this week, and then we'll cover all of the stories that Myles and I kind of sidelined for this episode, because you know what time it is.
Bedtime.
It's time for PSVR 20 questions. It's not bedtime yet. It's early there in the UK.
Yeah, and actually,
for the last time,
straight after the GAMESCAST, because it's a bit earlier, I'm going to set up a Pavlov server of TTT if GameCats want to join. And if you want to join, Brian, for a quick game of TTT.
Sounds good.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Just a quick TTT game.
I have so much other stuff I need to do. And actually, part of what I'm doing is Pavlov related, man. I'm trying.
Well, you need to do a bit more research then. Come on for a recon mission. God. Get some intel.
Man, you're not good for my productivity. All right, man. Well, listen, it's time for PSVR 20 questions. If you guys don't know how this works, it means I've got a PlayStation VR game up in my head, and I want to put it up on my
screen. Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to make sure that I get this thing up on my screen, because I always don't have all the questions, or I don't have all the answers at the ready. So let me just bring it up. I had it ready. What happened? Oh, right. Everything fell apart before the show. That's what happened. I reset.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Bit of that, yeah.
Yeah, so let me just...
Yeah. It's rock and roll, man. We're rock and roll with DIY.
All right. I got up on my screen. So, guys, remember, Myles is going to need all the help he can get. All the help he can get. I feel like one of those words, all the help he can get. Nope, that was right. All the help he can get. So make sure that in the chat you help him out. Suggest good questions for him to ask, and then good suggestions based on the answers that I give him. You get 20 yes or no questions to figure out what PlayStation VR, possibly 1, possibly 2 game, possibly both, I'm thinking of. Are you ready?
Oh, man, pressure. I don't think so, but we'll have to go anyway.
Well, I'll be damned. On your mark. Get Des. Go.
Can you kill in it?
Yeah, you can kill.
Good.
You specifically, Myles, can kill in this game.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
With a paddle. Is this a PSVR 2 title?
It is not a PSVR 2 title.
Oh, okay. I've just written down the word kill. If I was to die now and people find this note, because I've done it as a checklist as well, so it's like top of the checklist, it says kill, then PSVR. It's like, what was he up to?
You're really AJing the fuck out of this, you know?
Yeah, out of my own game. Is there a rhythm aspect to this?
No rhythm aspect to this.
Is this would you say it's a sort of a traditional like combat game, like just with guns? Yeah.
Traditional combat game with guns, sure.
Okay. Is it exclusively multiplayer?
I would say the focus is multiplayer.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And is this developer making a title for PSVR2?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Oh man, I don't want to throw myself off here. I know it's traditional. I'm gonna go for it. Is it Firewall 0 Hour?
Dude,
It's not. Is it?
it's not. And you just lost the game. This is the first.
I can't believe
you just lost the game because you guessed the wrong game. Because you didn't want to take your time.
I know it wasn't
right.
Solaris. It'll be Alvo.
I'm sorry. What's your third guess? Your fourth guess?
Oh, third guess would be Honor and Duty.
It's Alvo.
It was Alvo.
Yeah.
It was Alvo. Damn it.
Oh, Myles.
I forgot that they're developing.
You wanted to get into Pavlov so much that you were just like, let's race through this.
I know.
Yeah.
That's my first time I've ever lost it. I think. With a wrong guess. I've probably run out of time.
I think that's the first time anybody lost it with the wrong guess before like the 20th question. Like, sometimes you'll just throw out a random guess on the 20th question because you're running out of time or questions. And I think this is the first time somebody committed to the wrong game this early.
Yeah. My as I said, I've had a really bad week and it's just got worse. So.
Yeah. Cool. Well, sorry to hear that. hopefully you have a nice relaxing weekend, Myles, and things get better from this point on. And these guys are making, they're making Alvo for PSVR2. So they do have a PSVR2 title in the works. Strangely, very quiet about the whole thing, though. Very quiet about how much it's going to cost. Very quiet about what editions it's going to have. Very quiet about when it's coming out. So, my big question. Rody says, Myles, you made Brian sad. You did a little. You did.
He's really disappointed. He's like, I can't believe Myles did that.
Yeah. Do you think Alvo is going to be able to compete? This is a random topic. Do you think Alvo's going to be able to compete on PSVR 2, Myles, with Pavlov already being out, being a launch title that is $24.99? It's a price and a game that people are excited about. It's got so many different modes. It feels relatively polished, even though it's got some issues. And then we have Crossfire Sierra Squad for your co-op needs coming. We got Firewall 0 Hour. That's like probably going to be an even more polished version of any of the other shooters coming up. I'm worried, I should say, about Alvo.
Yeah, look, I think there's two things that needs to happen, and I think neither are going to happen. But I'd be happy. I'd like to be pleasantly surprised. One is it needs to come out before Firewall Ultra comes out.
Okay.
And if it comes out, it needs to not just be a PSVR 2 port. It needs to have a lot of game modes, additional to because. It's got to be in one camp or the other. It's either taking on Pavlov. The thing it has over Pavlov currently is it has a progression system. Pavlov is more of a sandbox game. So maybe it has its own space to get into. And it has its own good maps and that. But Firewall Ultra is definitely going to be its own space. I don't know. I mean, as soon as I started playing Pavlov, I remember my first thought was, "Wow, Alvo's in serious trouble." Oof. Like that's just because you were asking about the zombie mode. The zombie mode in Alvo is different. It has a cool progression system. It was good, but it was something I played once and thought probably not going to play it again.
Yeah.
Whereas I have played the zombie mode in Pavlov multiple times and would play it again, even though it's incredibly simple and they could add a lot more to it. Yeah. And I don't like to say that because I know there were people that liked Alvo but weren't shouting about it. I was someone that I was late to the party, but I loved Alvo
For
a
sure.
lot. Spent a lot of time in it.
Sorry, sirens on my end. Yeah, dude, absolutely. We love all these developers. We want them all to succeed, and hopefully they can all find a way to kind of carve out their own niche. And that's what we've been saying is like Crossfire Sierra Squad is going to be this campaign based, more arcade like co-op shooter, right? And so that's like something that we don't really have many of. And then like Firewall, probably sticking with the slower paced tactical stuff, and then Pavlov comes along and just kind of eats Alvo's lunch. I would have liked to see how Alvo there at launch and seeing how that would have all went down. That would have been a much different story, I think.
Especially, because Alvo would have brought over a lot of fans of the game from PSVR. They would have had that advantage. Whereas I know there were a lot of people kind of not getting Pavlov straight away and thinking, let's just see what the other shooters are going to be. And then everyone was like, oh, no, I should probably give it a go. And then when everyone starts talking about... The thing is, with Pavlov, there is a game mode for everyone. There really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. And I will say that Pavlov was almost the game that I chose for 20 questions tonight. And I was like, too obvious. So it's very close. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful night. And you have a great weekend ahead of you.
Not at all.
Make sure that you subscribe to Myles' channel by going to youtube.com/Myles or just clicking the link in the description below, because he's going to be streaming stuff this weekend, right? Tomorrow?
Sunday for this.
Sunday. In Demio.
Yep. In Demio.
Good stuff.
I'm going to do a full campaign unless I die in the first few seconds, like on 20 questions.
Yeah. Didn't go well. Didn't go well. But also make sure you join our Discord. That's where these conversations happen 24/7. It's a good time. What in the fuck are you putting up there?
It's my list that says kill.
Oh yeah, it didn't focus the way we wanted it to.
No.
Didn't focus.
Like me in the game. In 20 questions, I didn't focus.
No focus. Guys, thanks to everybody who supports this channel in every way possible. There's people who out there changing their name to GameCat, spreading the Without Parole love, all sorts of places. People who support us financially here by becoming members on YouTube. And of course, we're working on making sure that you guys get special perks, and that are, we were just talking on Discord earlier. Danny in my pajama was asking me, I was like, how come people who are members on YouTube don't have the some of the same Patreon perks of the same? I was like, I don't, because I'm still figuring shit out, and I apologize to everybody. So thank you for the support while we figure that kind of stuff out. The members here on YouTube, the patreon.com/withoutparolegames supporters, dude, everyone who tipped during tonight's show, amazing. Owandocat, Owandocat, 200 euros tonight. Fucking ridiculous, dude. Thank you for making life so much easier for me. I got to do my taxes tomorrow. It's not going to go well. So thank you for helping out with that. And of course, everyone who helped Myles fail miserably at 20 questions, and everyone who sat back, watched the show, didn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there and we love you just as much. Happy Friday, Myles.
Friday, Brian. Friday. Have a good weekend.
Looper the Underground GameCat doing just upgraded to a level 3 membership and left 2 tips. So hold on, let's tackle this real quick. Let's tackle this. He's like, I wonder what a level 3 membership does. It's like you and me both, Looper. The first tip he left, he, of course, if you guys don't know, Looper is the keeper of 20 questions. He is the one who knows all the stuff that's happening and keeps track of every single 20 questions game that's ever been played. So with the €5, he says it's this. So today's game is the first time someone lost with more than 17 seconds left on the timer.
Okay. Well, yeah.
These some deep analytics. I don't.
So I had 18 seconds left. Did I? Yeah. I did feel under pressure with the time.
He follows that up with another €5 and says, actually, all of the previous losses were either out of time or out of questions. So no one's ever
No,
lost the game
never
before,
guessed.
Miles,
Never guessed them wrong.
without just going into panic mode. They ran out of time or questions. That's
Yeah.
that's what you call some amazing analytics. Oh, Danny Rama Pajama just upgraded to level 3 membership as well. Said, "What the fuck? No way." Thank you, guys. I'm gonna I swear to you. I love you all so much, and I will figure this out. I will figure out the membership thing. I will figure out Patreon. We'll figure out everything, and hopefully you'll all be satisfied. But in the meantime, you're just the absolute best. So thank you.
Some people in the chat were asking when I'm streaming. Like, is it Saturday for the US? No, it's on Sunday for everyone. If you go to my channel and to the live tab, it's actually scheduled, so you can click like be notified. I believe it's happening like an hour after the game cat meetup. Do we know what game it is on Sunday?
That's an excellent question. You put me on the spot. I don't know.
Sorry, yeah, no. Well, it'll be on this week, won't it? It'll be on PSVR this week. So
it will be on PSVR this week. Lilith actually usually stops in on the Friday shows and lets me know. But I'm actually on Discord on my phone right now, and I'm scrolling down to the Sunday weekly multiplayer meetups. This is why you should be on Discord, you guys, and then you'll know the answer to this.
Yeah.
Already. Let's see. Oh man, there's a lot of discussions happening here. I think,
and also, guys,
it's seeming like Alvo. They're talking about Alvo a lot.
Oh, really interesting.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Pavlov. Everyone's saying it's Pavlov.
Yep, Pavlov won by a landslide. It was against No Man's Sky and Synth Riders, and everybody voted Pavlov for their first choice. So Sunday multiplayer, 2 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you join. I can't do this. 300 people watching us ramble after the show's over. 2 p.m. Awesome. Eastern. Make sure you join the Discord and sign up for the Pavlov multiplayer Sunday. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good time.
Well, speaking of Pavlov, Brian, two things. Firstly, for those that want to join me for Pavlov TTT, there'll be 9 spaces because I'll be one of them. Mm-hmm. Basically, once the stream is down, in 10 minutes, I will create a public, like to the minute, I'll make sure of it. I'll do a America server TTT map. Nice. Just look for the name Myles Dyer as the creator. Join, and we'll have a great time. And then secondly, obviously there was no clip of the week last week, so this week. Oh, shit.
I swear I'm.
This week,
I swear I'm.
That's right.
That's
right. I'll build up a little bit more. This week we've got clips of the week because I've got so many Pavlov clips. I didn't know what to do with them. And while Brian gets it ready, have you got it ready, or you don't get it? Because there's just so many different clips of different modes. And I know there are some game cats in here who maybe don't want to be on it because I kill them. But you know, I also get killed in it. And I've even got a clip when I joined Ian Higton's stream from Eurogamer, and I killed him in a really horrible way, and he wasn't happy about it. Nice. And it was such a great clip. And then there's one clip that I will preface it now because it's funnier when you know what happens. And it was actually from my friend Johnny. He, you know, sometimes when you're playing these games and you kill someone, and as you're doing it, you realize it's like a really small kid playing. There's a bit where he shoots someone and then they put their hands up and goes, no. And it was clearly a 10-year-old or something, and he kills them. And it's the funniest video I've ever watched on repeat, and you'll get to watch it on this. So, and there's a bit of zombies as well, so you can see how hardcore it gets. So you're in for a treat.
Well, let's do it then. I hope this works.
Let's do it.
E-N-E-C-O-N-N-I.
Yeah, cool, man.
I think it...
Hey, Best.
Why do you think it's me?
Can you spell innocent backwards? Yeah, he was a traitor.
You want me to shoot myself?
Guys, I'm going... Can I book anyone's appointment in? Hey guys, what's this?
God damn it. Oh my lord! Oh my god!
Ah, you fuck! I'm coming to get you, whoever you are. I'm gonna fucking murder you.
Revenge, bitch.
Revenge, bitch.
Whoa, 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 why are they shooting?
Completely unarmed.
Dude, there was a gun down here.
I'm completely unarmed.
But, well, there's a gun just down there. Oh my. I'm reloading. Woo! They need help. Right, 1 second. Hey, shit, we got a breach! Johnny, you gonna be alright? You swap your guns. Shit! Oh shit! Jesus Christ! Jesus fucking... Jesus Christ!
Literally, as you went away. That was crazy.
Are you the brother from Brian Paul?
I am from the brethren of the Church of Brian Paul.
Yeah, but are you from the Brian Paul Discord?
Yep.
Oh, so you're the Myles.
Yeah, I'm the Myles.
That's cool, man.
Good to see you, man. I like your hat.
Thanks, man.
Oh, it's alright. I'm gonna go over here now.
I think that's the longest clip of the week we've ever had, Myles.
It was a montage for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pavlov.
So
people
good.
should jump into it. There's so many game modes, so much. And yeah, 10 minutes from now, so at 10 to the hour, check out American servers, Myles Dyer hosting, TTT is the mode, and it'll be a good time. And you should join us, Brian.
Oh, man, maybe, but probably not.
You're responsible. That's good.
Yeah. Have fun, everybody, and have a great weekend. We love you all. Great, good stuff, Myles. I love the gore. Really, can't appreciate the gore sometimes in game while you're playing, but watching all those clips and just seeing the blood splatter against the wall, fucking
right.
Dude. Yep. All right, have fun, everybody. I know you got to go. Play some Pavlov. Love you guys. Good night.
Have a good weekend.